Uh, hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about the exclusionary rule and what is that, what it does, what it encompasses, what it involves, some major events and cases that have, been surrounded by this rule. So first and foremost, what does the exclusionary rule involve? What does it encompass? And it concerns search and seizures of different citizens and their belongings, along with their Fourth Amendment rights, and if they're being violated or upheld as they are a United States citizen and they have those rights. Now, one of the first big cases that ever encompassed this exclusionary rule was the Weeks versus U.S. case in 1914, and Mr. Weeks was illegally selling lottery tickets, and this is a federal crime. So obviously it needed to be investigated and be dealt with, but it was dealt with in the wrong way, and the officers who were working the case illegally obtained evidence, and which is what the exclusionary rule fully encompasses. But even though with this illegal evidence that they obtained, Mr. Weeks was still convicted as they found more evidence that was legal. But that brings me to what actually is the exclusionary rule. And the exclusionary rule is evidence that was illegally obtained and cannot be used in a trial, but this same evidence can be used to dismiss a case. So when illegally obtained, that means they were doing some unlawful business, or didn't have a proper search warrant, or were doing things shady or under the table, anything that wasn't proper. But there are some exceptions to the exclusionary rule, and one of these is being the good faith exception. So this means the officers or the authorities that are working the case believe that they have all the proper prerequisites to work the case, and they're working out of good faith or good intent and believe they're doing the right things and taking the right steps. And what can happen to this to make an exception to the exclusionary rule, or is where the officers that are working the case can obtain an invalid warrant, which is not their fault, but the judges or whoever writes the warrant, and so this evidence can be dismissed. Now, with the exclusionary rule, if this illegal evidence is the only evidence that has been obtained, then it can't be used, obviously, so technically there would be no evidence left to use against the defendant, so most likely the case would be dismissed unless there's some new evidence found within a certain time period. So that's just a little bit about the exclusionary rule. Thanks.